gigantic megastar personalities, but their performances are almost predictable. You know, so there's no versatility in those performers as far as I can see. And for me, versatility is, you know, a high mark in calling an actor a great actor. You know, I look at Laurence Olivier, who else? In our country, Paul Mooney used to do makeup. One of my favorite actors, American actors, was Morris Karnofsky, who was with the Group Theater. And, you know,
name to me.
Suffered through the blacklisting, and then when the American Shakespeare Festival in Connecticut opened, he was asked to join that company, and he did a Shylock, and he did Lear, and knocked everybody's socks off.
No boundaries.
No,
no boundaries.
No.
You co-founded American Players Theater in Wisconsin with a couple of friends. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Well, this says here that you arrived back in New York after a 20-year absence. And was this everything else you were doing for those 20 years? Because you certainly weren't back on the flower farm for those 20 years. You were just working constantly.
I lived in New York during the 70s, would work out of New York and in New York. And then, after being so disenchanted with the way classics were being done, you know, updated
or not being done.
Right. You know, where you sit there so confused half the time as to what the heck is going on, that friends and I decided, okay, put your money where your mouth is. You want to see these stories done as straight as can be told. That's right. Then better start a theater and do it, you know. See whether you can do it or not. So for 13 years we ran this theater, a classical rep company in the Midwest. And we moved to the Midwest mainly because I wanted the company to be focused, not distracted by having to run off to auditions here, auditions there, but to stay and train, to get involved, totally involved with the rep seasons. And for 13 years we did that.
A winter season?
No, it was summer.
Summer.
It was an outdoor amphitheater. And it was wonderful. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience. Hard. I learned, you know, that running a theater is really hard. But there's no regrets about the plays that we did and the whole repertory structure. Well, one night you're doing Hamlet, the next night you're doing Chekhov. I mean,
are you in rehearsal for one while you're performing the other?
Yes.
I've never understood how people could learn and do at the same time.
There was one season which we were doing 6 plays, and by the time the season ended, all 6 plays were in rep together. So an audience could come and spend a week in that area and feast themselves, just feast themselves on an ancient Greek tragedy, Shakespearean comedy, Moliere, Ibsen.
Do you think it will swing back? You know, you talked about the modern updates and the 20th century costuming and all that. Are we getting to the point where it might go back a little bit to the originality or the honesty?
Yeah, but we have to regain the audience's trust. I think one of the reasons why the audiences have left the theater is because we've confused them, especially when it comes to the classics.
Yeah.